So I'm doing this kind of backwards, but this is the Promise VTrak E610f. I tore down the J610s in a different video. Probably should have done this one first, but it is what it is. But I'm gonna take this apart and show what's inside. Alright, so we're gonna start at the back and look at one of the controller modules. I'm not going to completely tear these down because I think I'm going to sell them, even though I don't know if they work. Sell them for parts, obviously. There is a good chance I don't bother with selling them though, because they just aren't worth much if they do work. But here it is. Let's fix the zoom. And this supports 4 gigabit Fibre Channel. Got an Intel chip there. It is a PC82545GM. I'm not sure what that's purpose is, since it's not near a network port. Looks like it is going to the management port, so that might be the management network chip. Got some GSI chips, no clue what those do. And some heat sinks that are probably for the SAS controllers on this. And then a heat sink for the main CPU. This does appear to be running a stick of 2 gig ECC PC250-300 DDR2 memory. But yeah, just looking at some of these traces. So I'll put that back on real quick. Oop, don't drop the screw. This does have dual controllers in it. Here's the other one. Gonna be exactly the same on the inside as the other. Unless it's a different revision, I guess, but don't really care. And same power supplies as the other one, 500 watts each. Now, the one thing that'll change is the fans. So the fans are the same, except or they have batteries. And a little battery board module assembly setup here. And I suspect these are 18650s, 2 of them in parallel. Woo! Standing off to the side of the camera, I'm in a different position. But these are going to be too hard to rebuild. There's a BMS board right here. You can see how it's bulky, not rounded. But otherwise, yeah. Just plug that back in. It is keyed, so you can't do it incorrectly, in theory. Never know, someone might figure out a way to plug it in wrong. That'd be my luck. I plug it in wrong and something goes boom. Alright, so nothing too exciting there. So next we're going to take the cover off. And that means a million screws. I'm going to go fast with this because I've already shown it in the disc shelf video. So if you want to see a more detailed look, I would recommend that one. So I'm just going to blast on through this. Alrighty. take out the bottom here real quick, and then I'll get to the sides. These are impressively serviceable, which is nice. So based on the writing in the front, oops, these previously had 1 terabyte drives in them. So between the controller cabinet, oops, my goodness, and the disk shelf, there would have been 32 1 terabyte drives. Which is crazy to think, because we now have drives that are twice that capacity in one drive. And it's only 2.5 inch. Also, I should put this in wide angle. There we go. See a little bit more. Probably need a new bit for this drill. It's starting to wander. Alright. Okay, all 5 billion screws have been removed. I should have access to most of this now. Kind of have to pull the sides away for the screws to clear, or not the screws, but the screw holes, little press fit nuts. Here's the cage for the controllers and power supplies. Pretty chunky and well built. Oh, I left a caddy in there for demonstration purposes. Caddies are held in with some extruded aluminum rails like that. Backplane, just the same as the disk shelf. Presumably capacitors for power filtering. And then, missed a screw. What am I missing? Oh. Here's the drive cage assembly. Some beautiful pieces of extruded aluminum that have been machined and then screwed into place. So that's all there is to see on that. hopefully that was interesting, and thanks for watching.